Good evening, and welcome to the Weekly Voice, presented by VNN. Bringing you today's top 10 Canadian news stories on June 27, 2025, let's get started. Police say 55-year-old Daniel Stuckey and 32-year-old Dylan Stuckey of Brampton were taken into custody on June 23rd. The investigation, led by Peel's 21 Division Community Intervention Response Team in partnership with the LCBO's Organised Crime Unit, focused on multiple thefts along the Steeles Avenue corridor in Brampton. Daniel faces 22 charges, including robbery, theft, and probation breaches. Dylan faces a staggering 94 charges, from assault with a weapon to 48 counts of theft and fleeing police. He was also wanted on 4 outstanding warrants. After months of near standstill, new RBC data reveals signs of life in Canada's real estate market. Home resales in cities like Toronto, Calgary, and Ottawa rose slightly in May as trade tensions with the U.S. began to cool. However, markets tied to manufacturing, such as Vancouver and parts of southern Ontario, remain sluggish. Experts warn this rebound is fragile. Interest rates, job losses, or renewed tariff shocks could stall momentum before fall. A financial bullet may have been dodged. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has asked Congress to eliminate Section 899, the so-called revenge tax, that targeted countries like Canada for their digital services tax. If passed, the measure would have slapped a withholding tax on Canadian investors earning U.S. income. Finance Minister Champagne welcomed the move, but Trump's stance remains unclear. With Congress still debating, the future of cross-border tax policy hangs in the balance. Housing Minister Gregor Robertson is facing fierce backlash after Conservative MPs revealed his $10 million personal property portfolio. Critics say it's a blatant conflict of interest during Canada's ongoing affordability crisis. Robertson defends his holdings as transparent and within ethics guidelines, but public trust is waning. As investor ownership tops 30% of homes in some cities, many Canadians are asking, can someone with multiple luxury properties really fix the housing system? Toronto's summer just got a massive boost with the launch of the new open-air Rogers Stadium at Downsview Park. Set to host 14 major concerts, including Coldplay and Stray Kids, the venue features free post-show transit, a fan-zone Ferris wheel, and food lounges. Live Nation says the stadium will pump over $100 million into the local economy. While temporary for now, this music-first venue could be here for years, delivering unforgettable nights and a smoother ride home. British Columbia is taking action against the rising wave of extortion targeting South Asian communities. Public Safety Minister Gary Begg announced a $100,000 campaign in partnership with Crime Stoppers to encourage victims to report threats. Ads will run in English and Punjabi, and leaders are urging Ottawa to classify the Lawrence Bishnoi gang as a terrorist entity. The campaign aims to break the silence and empower victims to speak up. A new report reveals just how costly grocery delivery can be in Canada. Using Uber Eats, journalist Laura Brehart found a 45% markup compared to in-store purchases at a Toronto Sobeys. From hidden fees to inflated item prices, Canadians are paying a steep convenience tax. Experts warn this disproportionately affects people with mobility issues and are calling for greater transparency in digital pricing models. The 13th edition of the NB Grand Tour brought together nearly 300 National Bank employees and volunteers to raise over $250,000 for youth charities across the Greater Toronto Area. For the first time, the event was held in Ontario and supported organizations focused on mental health and child development. With over $2 million raised since inception, the Grand Tour continues to make a major community impact. BC Ferries has secured a $1 billion loan from the Canada Infrastructure Bank to fund 4 new ferries, built in China. The decision has ignited political backlash from Transport Minister Chrystia Freeland and others who say federal support should not go to foreign shipyards. BC Premier David Eby defended the move, saying urgent upgrades are needed and local shipyards aren't ready for the task. Still, questions remain about national industry and job protection. Trade tensions have flared again as former President Donald Trump abruptly paused negotiations with Canada over its digital services tax. The decision could stall progress on broader U.S. Canada trade cooperation. Ottawa has not yet responded, but economists warn that if left unresolved, the dispute could impact tech investments and digital commerce on both sides of the border. That's all for today's top stories. Thank you for joining us on The Weekly Voice, presented by VNN. Stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll see you next time. British Columbia